Hey everybody, hope you guys are all doing well. So today I wanted to talk to you quickly about how to stay creative when you're feeling stress and anxiety, or anxiety, stress. All of these things, man, are big killers of creativity. You know, it can be incredibly hard to get new ideas, to feel passionate, to feel like you have clarity about what you're creating. I mean, it is one of the most difficult things for a creative to feel stress, to feel anxiety, to have that internal war, and then have to feel creative. Now, for many of us who are creative, creativity is also to our job. Creativity is something that we're closely connected to in what we have to do in life. So we don't really have the option to just turn off creativity, or say, okay, well, I don't need to be creative right now. For many of us, it's our livelihood, or it's an area that we're striving to grow in. So we got to keep on moving. So how do you stay creative when you're dealing with stress and anxiety? And I wanted to give you 3 areas of focus, 3 areas that have helped me and continually help me in this area. Okay, so let's get right into it. The very first one that you're going to need to master in order to stay creative during these stressful and anxious times is, first, you need to understand that creativity is something that comes from within. Now, what do I mean by that? Creativity is not something that we have to wait for. Creativity is not something that just arrives and then, there, we've caught creativity and now we're creative. No, creativity is an extension of who you are. It is something that comes from within. Now, whatever comes from within means that you have complete control over it. Now, here's the side note, right? Is I know that just because you have control over something doesn't mean you're always going to execute well on it. And I get that. And you don't have to. Okay, so let's just remove that pressure right now. When I say that you're in control of it, it means this. It means that you're not waiting on an external circumstance to motivate you or drive you or give you what you need to do what you need to do. It is something that comes from within. It is something that you need to manage, not something that you need to wait for. And that's important, because if you think that it's something that you need to wait for, there's always going to be an excuse. There's always going to be a reason why, I'm just waiting on this, I'm waiting on that. And you're never going to be creative. And when that happens, that only causes more depression, more stress, more anxiety. It only amplifies the feelings that you're already feeling as a creative. Okay, so first things first is you got to understand that creativity comes from within, and sometimes you need to dig really deep, and sometimes you just need to manage your environment, your emotions, your situation better, so that way you can get through that moment, or you can still be effective even in the midst of stress and anxiety. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2 is that there are a lot of external things that will also add to that stress and anxiety in your life. And so sometimes when we're feeling incredibly stressed or anxious and it's hard to be creative, the best thing that we can do is work on those areas that are weighing us down, those tasks, those things that are just weighing us down. You need to finish this up. You need to send those emails. You need to write this blog. Whatever it is, edit this video. Focus on more of the mindless tasks. And when I say mindless, it's more of the function of your creativity. You don't really have to think of the idea. You don't really have to massage the concept. It's really just executing it. It's maybe more of the boring stuff. But those things will lead to, getting some of that stress off you, getting some of that anxiety off you. And you can kind of do that in a mode that doesn't require as much creative energy, if you will. Okay. And this is big, because these are the things that you're not going to want to do. There's a reason why you're putting them off already. It's because you don't want to do them. They're not fun, that you don't enjoy them. But when they're off of you, man, you feel so much better. It could be something as simple as arranging your files, or making sure that, all your, PDFs or whatever it is organized. But in the end will lead to, getting that pressure off of you. Okay, so that's one that's huge. That's something that I focused on. And that's something that, you can really do that even in the midst of crisis, even in the midst of stress and anxiety, whatever you may be going through. Okay, so that's huge though. It's incredibly hard, don't get me wrong, but it's huge, and it really helps. Okay, and the last one is be honest about how you're feeling. A lot of us as creatives, we want to push through. We want to do what we want to do. It kind of causes us to just feel like man, nothing's working. I don't know what's going on. I'm feeling stressed. Maybe you got situations that are, outside of your control that are causing worry or concern or anxiety. And you're just like, man, I got to focus on this, but I can't. You know what? You need to stop and you need to just be honest about how you're feeling. And you need to not run from it and not try to, I got to just do this and I got to muscle through. You know what? Sometimes the best thing is to just acknowledge where you're at and what you're feeling and just go, you know what, man, I'm incredibly stressed right now. I got a lot of worry. I got a lot of anxiety. Right now we're in the holiday season and there's a lot of worry. There's a lot of anxiety. Plus you got COVID stuff, people closing down, political stuff, arguments. I mean, it's a really wild time, especially for a creative. But listen, you got to sometimes just stop and acknowledge that and just be like, you know what? It is a really wild time right now. Man, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff to be anxious about. There's a lot of things I don't know quite how are going to work out. But you know what? I'm going to stop. I'm not going to run from that. I'm going to acknowledge that. I'm going to take the time and do the discipline to give those things unto the Lord. I'm going to spend the emotional time, making sure that those things are managed and they're in their proper place. I'm not going to worry about things that haven't happened yet. I'm not going to concern myself with things that are only just fears at this moment. I'm going to just focus on what's important. I'm going to give it to the Lord. I'm going to build myself up in encouragement. I'm going to read his word. I'm going to renew my mind. I'm going to do all of those disciplines that are going to lead to a more healthy and a more whole you. And that's really what you need to do. And far too many times myself, and I'll see a lot of other creatives, we try to just power through those things, not acknowledging where we're at or how we're feeling. And listen, that's not a good practice. That's only going to compound, and later on you're going to have to deal with it. So stop and just acknowledge it, man. Yeah, you're feeling stressful. It's a hard time right now. Maybe you got some situations going on where, you just need to acknowledge those and go, yeah, it is difficult right now. I'm going to stop. I'm going to do the work, the emotional work, the spiritual work, the physical work. Maybe you need to exercise more, eat better, sleep better. You're going to do the work. You're going to acknowledge them. You're not going to run from them. And I believe that if you can do those three things, it's going to help you. It's going to help you be more creative, get more things done, and not be bogged down by stress and anxiety, which is a really real thing. Okay. So, man, I bless you guys. I just pray that the Lord encourage you. He give you strength right now, that no matter what you're going through, that he reminds you of his love, that he will never leave you or forsake you, that he is with you, that the creativity that you have is a gift that he's given to you and is something that is inside of you. It is part of who you are and how he made you. And when you exercise that, you're going to give him glory and give him honor in this world. So I just speak blessing over your life right now, encouragement, that stress to be removed, that anxiety to be removed, and we replace that with the peace that surpasses all understanding. God bless you guys.